Hey there, welcome to the part 2 of my introduction to fraction. In the part 1, I talked about how to identify the type of fraction that is proper, improper, mixed fraction, and then I even talked about whole fraction. So I think it's a good point to start. You can pause this video right now and go check it out and then come back to this video, and I'm sure it would make more sense to you, especially to identify the type of fraction that I'll be solving here. So in this part 2 of my introduction to fraction, would be adding fraction, subtracting it, multiplying it, and then dividing it. So without wasting time, let us start adding the fraction. So it's gonna be adding fraction. Now we're gonna add half plus 7 over 8. To add fraction, it's very easy. So the first thing that you need to do is to draw the fraction line and then multiply the denominators, which is 2 times 8. End up getting 16. Put it down on the denominator, and then you cross multiply. Take 8, multiply it by 1. 8 times 1, you end up getting 8. Put it here, and then bring down the plus sign. Multiply 2 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Put it here. Let me change this pen now. Now add 14 plus 8, you end up getting 22. So I'm gonna have 22 over 16. This should be the answer, but you want to reduce it. So when you reduce it, you find a number that can go in both 16 and 22 without any remainder. And that number is 2. 2 can go into 16 8 times, into 22 11. So the final answer is 11 over 8. 11 over 8. So that is how you add fraction. Now, if you want to give the if you want to go ahead and subtract fraction, you can give it a shot and pause this video. After you've completed it, you can come back and check if we end up getting the same answer. So now let us subtract fraction. I'm going to use this pen right here. Subtract fraction. Subtracting fraction. It's going to be the same way, the same thing as adding fraction. The only difference is the sign, because this we are going to end up subtracting. So the question says 6 over 3 minus 3 over 3. So the first thing that you have to do is to multiply the denominators, which is 3 times 3, which is 9. Draw your fraction line, bring it down the denominator. So after doing that, multiply 6 times 3, which is 18. You can use your calculator to verify. So I get 18. Bring down the minus sign, multiply 3 times 3, which is 9. So when you subtract 18 minus 9, you end up getting 9. So 9 divided by 9, which is 1. So this is your answer, 1. Now let us multiply fraction. And this fraction actually is a mixed fraction, so it's going to be the same thing, but it's a little we need to add one more step to it. Let's multiply. Let me choose this color. Multiply fraction. So we have one whole number 2 over 4 multiplied by 6 whole number 3 over 3. Now to multiply this fraction, you're gonna convert this mixed fraction to improper fraction. And if you watch the introduction to fraction, the type of fraction shouldn't be an issue for you at all. So to do that, we have to take this 4, multiply it by 1, and then add it to the 2 on the numerator. So we're going to multiply 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 2, 6. So we'd end up getting 6 over 4. The sign come down, multiply 6 times 3, which is 18, plus 3, which is 21. So we're going to get 21 over 3. Let me just give it a space. So fraction is easier because you don't have to do all the little thing that we did for adding and subtracting fraction. So here all we have to do is to multiply across. You have 6 times 21, end up getting 126. Divide it by 4 times 3, which is 12. So try to divide it if they can divide. Okay, yes. So when you divide 126 divided by 12, you end up getting 21 over 2. So that is it. All you have to do is to multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators and then divide your answers to reduce it. So that is how you multiply fraction. So let's say even if it wasn't a mixed fraction, then you don't have to do what we did here. All you have to do is to multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then divide them as we did here. So now let us divide fraction. So dividing fractions. Actually, this is a basic fraction. I'll try to make another video where we'll be doing more complex fractions. So let me change this ink. We have 3 divided by 8. Well, fraction line, we have 2 over 3. Solution. You see, in dividing fraction, it's a little different because we got to make a swap and then change this division sign to multiplication. So how do we do that? Let me get a better pen, better color. I think this is good. Now, do the same thing. I have 3 over 8. This division sign, we're going to change it to multiplication and then swap this 3. So the 3 is going to be the numerator and then the 2 is going to be the denominator. So we're going to have 3 over 2. All you have to do is what we did for the multiplication. Multiply across 3 times 3, which is 9, and 8 times 2, which is 16. Now, that is the answer because you cannot reduce this. So that is how you add fraction, subtract fraction, divide fraction, and multiply fraction. So this is just an introduction to how to really add, subtract, multiply, and divide. In the next video, we'll do more examples, more complex examples, like adding more fractions, something like, let's say, 3 over 6 plus 7 over 9 plus 2 over, let's say, 2. Something like this for all the other fractions. So that is to subtract 8 or multiply it or divide it, whatever the case might be. So thank you for watching, and then I'll see you in the next.